Day 25, when the rain struck.
In May 2016, I made a decision to quit my job and hit the road for 2.5 months. In total, I did 6,700 miles. I was gone for 70 days. This was my pilgrimage.
Day 25 of the pilgrimage, I left White Silver Springs with the intention of visiting Diamond City, a ghost town in the Big Belt Mountains, and finish a day in Helena and Rimini. And the weather had different plans. I headed north on Highway 360 and I turned down this national forest access, and I discovered that I went the wrong way about 45 minutes later when I found the dead end sign. I think I have a magnet for finding the end of the road, especially ones that are up in the mountains, so it's not easy to get turned around. Note, if you're going to try and find Diamond City, don't turn, just stay on 360. 360 literally turns into the Forest Service Road. As soon as I got to the Helena National Forest, it began to rain. Buckets. I found what I believed was Diamond City. It wasn't marked, but there was 3 standing buildings and there were the only buildings that I found. Thunder and lightning reminded me that I still had the whole mountain pass to go. I was 10 miles from where the mountain road splits out to Highway 284 when I met my first real obstacle. After 3 hours of heavy rain, this section of the road had flooded. I got off the bike and stared at the pedal for a minute, and I turned around and looked back the way that I came. I didn't know how far I had gone at that point, and I didn't know how far it would be to get to the other side. I only thought about turning around for a second. I really didn't want to go back the way that I came. I took a deep breath and I told myself, I'm already wet, you can't really make that worse. And I walked into the puddle to judge how deep it was. I walked straight through the middle to start with, and it came up about 4 inches above my ankle and only got deeper as I moved in. I could feel my boots getting sucked on by the mud. I didn't even want to think about trying to deal with water being drawn into my engine. I had no clue where to even start with trying to fix that problem. So I went back to the edge of the road and stared at the puddle again. And I noticed the little ripples on the side of the road where the water was inletting before the giant puddle. And I thought that maybe it isn't so deep that direction. Made my way through that side of the puddle, and it was only about 1 inch above my ankle on that side. So I walked back to the bike and I stood next to my exhaust pipe and double measured to make sure that my exhaust pipe was high enough that it wasn't going to be underwater. After going back to the bike and making sure my exhaust was high enough, I unloaded the tank bag, all of my electronics, and one of the duffel bags just in case I did drop the bike. And I got on and took another deep breath, mumbled encouragement to myself, and took off. My first baby water crossing, and I didn't drop it. I screamed and hollered and did a little dance. I had puddles in my boots, my waterproof gloves were soaked through, and the rain had soaked through my moto pants. But I was upright, my torso was dry, and everything inside of my Wolfman bags was dry. I crossed one more big puddle and a stream before exiting the Big Bell Mountains. It was still raining, and I found Townsend, found a little hotel. There is water literally oozing out of the leather on my boots. Like, said screw it to my no hotel rule. Oh. Because when it is raining this much, there is no way of putting up my tent and even getting dry. It's just, it's not. It was pouring. Like, if I had unloaded everything inside my tent, like, everything inside my tent would be wet too. Well, like 3 out of 4 ain't that bad. I'm still, like, no GPS, no freeways, no chain restaurants. Still sticking to that. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. P.S. My legs are rainbows.